At this time, I will call the October 3rd meeting of the Harnett County Board of Commissioners to order. I'd like to welcome all our guests. Good to see a good turnout today. At this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Johnson to lead the pledge and have our invocation.
And face the flag, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing and pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning in county meeting, gathered as the people of the county, get our sides heard. Please bless this board as we make important decisions. Lord, we've had problems with storms. It's just a really terrible situation in Florida. Lots and lots of devastation. We ask for your hand to touch the people who were affected by the storm there. I understand this morning we had approximately a count of 90 people dead so far that have been located. Lord, we ask you to touch the families, be with us here, and please bless everyone here as we all need to be touched by your hand in some way. Ask these things in the Lord's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. All right. At this time, are there any additions or deletions to the published agenda? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the published agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Motion carried. All right, the consent agenda. Any changes anyone has to the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carried. All right, at this time, it's 9:02. We will have a 30-minute public comment period. This is an opportunity for the citizens to discuss things that the board has control over and that we can do something about, or something that's on our agenda. So we will begin, and please, when you're speaking, refrain from any profanity or unsavory language. First up is Rebecca Brock.
Good morning, Commissioners. My address 5220 Christian Light Road. I want to amend my comment from the last Board of Commissioners meeting to make sure that it's clear. And that is to request that the Board of Commissioners start to think about adding a community building, or at least room, in every new structure that you approve. That means schools or fire departments, for the use of the community, which would include voting, also disaster situations, catastrophic issues that the community can use and come to. We don't have a single large enough building in the community to house everyone, not that that's our responsibility, but that there is some concern with schools having voting in. There are 6 schools that use voting out of the 13 precincts. Those are the purview of the Board of Elections to choose those schools to serve those precincts. And while there's safety concerns, I also think going forward that you all ought to have more community buildings. And that would be not easy, but at least a addition of a building or room for the use of voting and community purposes at the schools. It could better be secured that way if it was separate but equal. And I want to amend that I just feel like schools ought to have voting if that's the best place for the precinct. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brock. And thank you for reminding me to ask everyone to please state your name and address. I forgot that. All right, Ms. Hinton.
My name is Laureen Hinton, Leroy Elliott daughter. I stay in Charleston, South Carolina. The reason why I'm here is to ask, because I was told that two commissioners are supposed to decide on the division of land. I just went before the clerk of court the 27th of this month. And what I'm asking you to hold off on doing the division until I can get a court of law, judge and jury, to hear this case. Because I did not get my 0.25%. Afrita Water is a wealthy woman now, and she owns over $1 million in property right now. So, she got that from the state of Leroy Elliott. So what I'm asking you is to please hold off in the vision of this land until I can get Renee to a part. She said I had to appeal. I didn't ever agree to go before her in the first place. I told her from day one I wanted a judge and jury. She would not allow that. She was the one who went on with the decision because she said that she was doing it in the best interest of Afrita Water. I don't understand why Afrita Water even want Lot 9 because it's considered as worthless land. The only thing I can come up with is because it can't be purged. The only thing I can come up with is she just don't want me to have nothing. Just nothing out of the state. That's the only thing I can come up with. And the court should not be used as a form of vindictiveness or meanness towards anybody. Because like I said, Lot 9 is the only thing that I got of some value from Leroy Elliott's estate. And also, I didn't know at the time that a convicted felony who manslaughter went to court and claimed his father's body. I can only imagine how my father may have felt being subjected to his kids like that. That's bad. And she went before Georgiana, I can't remember her last name, in 1987. All this is bad. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Rivas?
Good morning, Jerry Rivas, 364 Twin Ponds Road. Oh, thanks, kind of. The last time I spoke here, I spoke about Sheriff Wayne Coates wanting to revoke my concealed carry permit that I've had for about 25 years. Well, he did that same day that I was here. And the way the statute is written, it says one of the reasons the sheriff may revoke a permit is the doing of an act that would have prevented somebody from receiving an initial purchase. Now, according to the 14th Amendment, which guarantees my right to due process, I haven't done an act. There's been a malicious and baseless accusation made. I've been accused of doing an act, but I have not been adjudicated guilty or innocent in a court of law because I haven't gone to court yet. That's not till October 27th. I tried to explain that to his 53-year lackey employee. You know, I spoke about the 14th Amendment and statements by Justice William Brennan, which Wayne Coates just hates that I come up here and mouth off and criticize him because he's so thin-skinned. I can't believe I live in his head rent-free. But I'm meeting with 2 attorneys Wednesday to explore filing a civil rights federal lawsuit against Wayne Coates, the Harnett County Sheriff's Department, Harnett County, because you guys got deep pockets and, you know, you have a county attorney. If this man is so stupid, he won't consult an attorney. And this is a problem with our police officers. We send an attorney. The attorney has to go to school for 3 years and then pass a bar exam. But we send these deputies to school for 6 months who basically learn how to bark orders, give directives, boss people around, and be bullies. And they swear an oath to uphold the law, and they don't know the law. That's what's amazing to me. But it's still, and I will forever criticize Wayne Coates because the day my wife was taken off of life support under his orders, my wife of 44 years, I was not allowed to be there with her when they unplugged the machines. And that's because of that vile, petty, childish think of the most profane words I have ever used. It doesn't describe him. It doesn't describe him. He's dirt to me. And this is what we get. All you people who vote straight Republican ticket or straight Democrat ticket, that's the kind of crap you get when you vote for somebody like that. Keep Wayne Coates sheriff. I say put Wayne Coates in jail because he's a crook. He still won't put body cameras on the deputies. What is he hiding? What is he hiding? What's he going to do to me next? Anonymous tip that I got a liquor still in my hay barn, and then they're going to SWAT raid me at 2 o'clock in the morning and kill me because I resisted? I'm sure there's something like that in the works because these people are they're scum. They're just scum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivas.
Oh, and you need a candy bowl at the reception desk downstairs. That's a sign of a high quality operation, and it's peppermints because everybody got bad breath at 9 o'clock in the morning.
All right, Ms. Longman.
Good morning, Elizabeth Longman, 234 Hamilton Road, Bun Level. Just coming to say that I watched remotely the opioid meeting that you guys had with our Attorney General Josh Stein in attendance. It was very, very, very interesting to see that this county was not prepared. It is awful when the Attorney General comes and all he can talk about is what other counties are doing. It is awful when you have a pal and Coley Price in charge of the opioid money. Appel and Coley Price, won't they stay in their lane? We have enough lawsuits coming because I have 2 of my own being filed right now. Appel has his own job to do. The opioid crisis has nothing to do with that Coley Price. Nothing to do. It is bad when every time someone on the administration opens their mouth, the Attorney General will come and talk about other counties and what other programs are doing and what's happening in other places. What is happening in Harnett? It is very, very clear to me, and from that meeting I could see that the hospitals were ready to implement that money. They each had some way, and emergency services, they each had some place they said they could target it. The social services department was ready to keep families together. Opioid addicts keep their children together and bring services to them immediately. The court system, with the DA there telling you that she doesn't have the funding to do this intervention programs and offer it, they were ready immediately. The only people not ready there were, of course, Appel and Coley Price, who had nothing to do
Ms.
with this
Longman,
damn
please
opioid.
stop the personal attacks.
Excuse me, I
Please stop the
am
personal
recounting.
attacks.
I speak English very clearly. It's not a personal attack, it's a recounting of the meeting. It's a recounting. How do you recount a meeting? I'm talking about the opioid meeting. I did not personally attack anyone. If your comprehension of the English language does not get to that level, do not come at me, okay? So it is very clear that the administration of Harnett County, the county commissioners of Harnett County, were not ready for that money. Social services could have used that money immediately to keep families together. Emergency services could have used that money immediately to keep families together. We could save lives. The jail, of course, with their baseless program, all our sheriff could do was go and create an alternative fact about the people that go die in the jail. Alternative facts. That's all we had to give the Attorney General. Now the opioid money is here. The people are ready to use it. The 3 departments, DA, social services, and the hospitals are ready to implement it. But now it is being administrativized by people who have nothing, are not involved in this process, are not the ones dealing with the dead bodies, are not the ones saving the lives in this county. They have nothing to do because they don't get it. We now have to hold up this money from the Harnett County citizens. There'll be more lives lost as usual in Harnett County. Why? Because you guys do not care to act in the interest of the people, but
Thank
in
you,
your
Ms.
own
Longman. Your
self-interest.
time's up.
Thank you for interrupting me. I needed 5 seconds because you interrupted me in the middle as well.
Mr.
So I
Longman?
claimed my time. Have a good day.
Mr. Longman, do you want to speak?
Name is Alan Longman. I'm at 234 Hamilton Road in Bond Level.
The reason for me talking today is about, one, the continued conditions of the jail being inadequate and dirty, filthy, and needs to be investigated. So far, the Department of Public Health has not done so, and it needs to be done. There's a reason why they're dragging their feet. Second of all, about the committee, about the three people that talked earlier, I agree 100% on what they're saying. But also the committee on drugs enforcement is a concern to me. One, you didn't get enough money. You need a lot of money to make things right. Second of all, the program, the paradigm that I saw the sheriff's department have in their presentation to the parents is the opposite of what reality is and what the facts are and statistics. One, you don't go around telling parents that to go look and see what their children's doing. You assume that they're doing it because drugs has become a peer pressure thing and part of going the next step up to manhood. Unfortunately, a lot of stupid things are done when you're at these ages. And you have to assume that they're going to be pressured and that they're going to be possibly doing it and experimenting. So that is what they should be talking about first. Yes, this is going to happen. Not because you have a certain lifestyle, because you're a Christian. The statistics say that's all bull. You're going to have to turn around and realize every kid is a victim. And the parents have no idea what their kids are doing at all at these ages and assume the worst. The second one, they would tell parents, go find out these things, turn in your kids. Arrest them. Because I asked them, what are you doing this for? Well, to turn in the kids to arrest them so they can have a record? So that they can't get a job or go to college? And then makes this circle go round and around because they can't get work, can't get a job? What type of thing is this? This is from the past. Years ago, you had a program called DARE, a lousy program that didn't work. Not only didn't it work, it introduced kids to drugs because of the age groups they choose to teach it. So it's failed miserably, and the program you have and the mentality you have now on how to handle the problem with who's in charge now in the sheriff's department is absolutely no good and against statistical data. That's why evidence-based program was mentioned. And I want to make sure that that's followed. Third, 12-step program makes people who are ultra-religious and into the fact that you can somehow help yourself and prevent yourself from having problems with drugs with your kids or even in adult life is bull. 12-step program only works for less than half the people. And while it may work, you need another program other than 12-step program to fully put people into recovery. The other problem with the program the sheriff had was
Mr.
the
Longman,
major.
your time's up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Bill Wood?
Good morning. I'm not sure if I'm speaking at the right time or not. This is concerning the rezoning of Bailey's Crossroads Road.
There is not going to be, excuse me, there will not be a public hearing on the rezoning today.
Okay, so no speaking on that.
Right. I mean, you can speak
Use
now.
this time to speak now.
Okay.
You can speak now,
Okay.
but there's not going to be a public hearing.
Gotcha. Okay, well, just a few things and I'll keep it short. This is our third meeting concerning this, and I'm hoping it will be laid to rest one way or the other today. It's in the Lord's hand. But start off with, anybody here from the Bailey Crossroad Road community and you oppose the rezoning, please raise your hand. There's usually more here, but not all of us was able to get off work today. So for 2 meetings, we've heard the pros and cons. I'm not going to try to rehash everything. I know it's looking at a convenience, and we've counteracted. It's not a convenience to us. We don't need a store right there when we pass so many stores. Still don't understand why it's such a top secret national security thing, why they won't let us know what type of store is going there. That would be nice, outside of them just telling us it's going to be a convenience type store. But rumors, it's the Dollar General. From my house at 2088 Bailey's Crossroads Road, There's $5 generals within a 10-mile radius, not to mention convenience stores, not to mention Walmarts, other grocery stores. You know, they said it's going to be a convenience for the community. We don't need it. We don't want it. It's not a convenience for us. If you're familiar with that area, you know the hazardous traffic situation along Bailey's Crossroads Road. Yes, DOT are making improvements. They're redirecting Fairground Road coming out of Dunn into 27, and Bailey's Crossroad Road will be closed down. It's going to be dead-ended, but that's not going to change the traffic flow on 27. So you're going to have a convenience store of some sort with delivery trucks coming in and out with the massive amount of traffic that's flowing down that road, a high rate of speed. It's just going to make a bad situation worse. Another thing that was brought about is revenue for the county. Well, I'm going to counteract that with what was brought up, that they weren't searching to get a whole lot of business, so traffic wouldn't be there. So if they're not looking to get a whole lot of business at this store, would the revenue generated from this offset the increase of potential 911 calls for traffic and robbery? So I'm just going to stop there. We could go into other issues, safety issues with robbery and theft and drug, but I'm asking, please, as a resident of Harnett County, as a resident of Bailey's Crossroads Road, please do not approve this rezoning request. We do not want it. We do not need it. And in closing, here's a picture. I know it's kind of small, you can't see it, but if you would ride down Bailey's Crossroads Road, you would see multiple signs out saying, please, no rezoning of this area. We do not want it. Please do not approve this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Mr. Conway?
My name is John Conway. I stay at 2225 Bailey's Crossroads. I'd like to comment on Harnett County Commissioners. I got transferred here in 1989 working for Carolina Power and Light Company. I saw for a fact that Harnett County Commissioners listen to the people. And I commend you for that. That's the problem with our government. They do not listen to people anymore. The people of Harnett County, Bailey's Crossroads, are begging you not to build this. The DOT is finally going to spend over $700,000 to make the 3 intersections safer for the people of Harnett County, for the people of North Carolina. Please don't undo it. The developers are going to tell you how bad we need it. We don't need it. We have all the services that we want, that we need. I have raised my children in Harnett County. I am now raising and helping my children raise their children in Harnett County. But please listen to the people. We're begging you for help. Do not approve the developers taking over and making a community unsafe because of undesirables within our county. Don't approve the redistricting or the rezoning of this property. Again, we are begging you, please do not ruin our neighborhood. You would not want your neighborhood to be ruined, and we're asking you not to ruin ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conway. All right, that's the end of the public comment period, public forum. So I will close that, and we will move to item 6 on the agenda. This has to do with the proposed text amendment for the EdMed corridor.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the proposed text amendment in case 22070003.
Second. Do we have to take it off the table first?
We need to take it off the table before we can vote on it.
Normally you would, but in this case, in that your last motion was to table it until a day certain today, so you don't need to do a motion to revive.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to approve this text amendment. Any further discussion by the board? If not, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay. All right, we will move to item 7, the rezoning of the land on Bailey's Crossroad Road.
Mr. Chair, I unfortunately was not able to be here for the public hearing on this matter, but have since gone back and looked at the YouTube broadcast of that meeting. And based on the response that was received that night, as well as the response that I've received from many of the citizens and some that we have heard here this morning, along with the planning board's recommendation not to approve this rezoning change, I do believe it would have an unreasonable impact on the surrounding community, and therefore will make a motion to deny this rezoning request.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion by the board? All right, all in favor of denying this motion, please raise your hand. It's carried unanimously, Madam Clerk. All right. Item number 8. This is the rezoning of Faircloth land in Johnsonville.
Mr. Chairman, this was tabled, and I'd like to remove that off the table and go ahead and make a motion to approve this rezoning request for the property here in Johnsonville Township.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion by the board? Hearing none, all in favor of rezoning this property, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, county manager's report.
Chair, the first items that I have, we have our budget amendment approval and tax and rebates, refunds that need to be approved.
Do I hear a motion concerning these budget amendments?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor of approving these budget amendments, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? So carried.
The last item I have is that publicly announced that Mike Morrow will be starting on October 10th as our next assistant county manager. He's bought his home and moving in this week to his home here in Harnett County. Excited to have him on board. He brings almost 30 years of experience to us in many areas, and is moving here from Florida. So,
Just in time.
Very good. Yes. Any new business to come before the board? Do we have a closed session?
yes, sir.
Yes, we do, Mr. Chair. I would move that the board go into closed session for the following purpose: consult with the county's legal counsel in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege concerning the handling of certain litigation, including the following case: County of Harnett versus Randy D. Rogers et al., Harnett County Superior Court, file number 12, CBS 890. This motion is made pursuant to North Carolina General Statute, Section 143-318.11A3.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second to go into closed session. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carried. We will now enter into closed session. Thank everyone for coming. Board back to order in open session and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? We are adjourned.
Aye.